Okay, so I thought what I'd do today is break down a lick from some of the etudes that I'm working on for my forthcoming book, Harmonic Foundations. So just to be clear, I think it's really important to point out that what I'm doing is I'm basically improvising solos and kind of splicing things together and refining it for these etudes. And the reason I'm doing that is because I found that a lot of the material, what little of material there is available on Triad Pairs, tends to be very academic and not so empirical. What you're going to find is when Triad Pairs are employed within a solo, they're usually mixed up with other elements of the jazz language. And so this is a good example of this. This is a lick that I did improvise over the Changes of Stella by Starlight, okay? So let me show it to you. You heard it fast. Let me show it to you slow, okay? It's... Okay? I'll show it to you very slow now. Okay, now let's break it down. Now what's interesting about this lick is it utilizes the technique of minor conversion in the style of Pat Martino. Okay? And it does it in two different ways. So the first chord is E major 7th, right? And looking at it, it's in the Lydian context. So what I play is a Dorian bass line, very much in the style of Pat Martino. So you can see here, when I'm looking at it as C minor, I'm kind of thinking of that, you know? Okay? And so what I do is I start here, right, which is the 7th of the E flat, but it's the 9th of the C minor. Bump up to the root of the E flat, come back down, use a chromatic approach into C, okay? Right? And then I just descend through that scale. Right? So it's very straightforward, but you can see it's an example of minor conversion. Okay? And then when I go to the A flat 7th in the next bar, I start to use a triad pair, which is really derived from E flat minor. Okay, so the triad pair that I'm looking at here is E flat minor to F minor. Okay, and so that is a Dorian bass triad pair. So just like Pat Martino has often spoken about, he uses a lot of times the minor, which is the 2 leading to 5. Okay, so for example, over G7 he plays D minor. So we're using that same principle here. So over A flat 7th, I'm employing E flat minor and F minor, okay? So let's look at the tones and kind of how they relate to the A flat 7th. The E flat being the 5th, right? The G flat being the flat 7th, and then the B flat being the 9th degree, right? Moving over here, okay, this gets a little bit interesting. 13, okay, root and 3rd, okay? So we're kind of implying A flat 13 in that particular example, okay? And so what I'm doing here in that line, when I go to this particular pair, is I go up this pair and I hit the root of the E flat again and then descend, right? So I go, so, right? And then from there I use basically like an F minor pentatonic figure, I think, to end it. It's a, yeah. Right? And so that F minor pentatonic works perfectly. You got the 9th there, you got the root there, you got the 5th, 13, I'm sorry, 5th, 3rd, 13 there. So, right. So that's the lick, okay? So basically, this is some of the language that we're going to be working on in the forthcoming book. I hope that sheds a little bit of light on something, and I'll be providing more teasers during the time leading up to the publishing of the book. So I do suggest, though, if you're interested in this material, that you get a copy of my other book, The First Step, which teaches you how to approach a triad pair from the ground level up, because this material is going to get very, very advanced. Okay, so thanks for watching, and check back soon for another preview. Thanks.